There is a storm inside every man, a silent fire, a relentless urge. You feel it when you're alone, in the middle of the night, while you scroll, while you fantasize, while you escape. It's not just lust. It's not just temptation. It's energy, raw, untamed. And for most men, it controls them. It consumes them. It becomes their prison. But for a few, a rare few, it becomes their power, their focus, their legacy. This is not a video about quitting pornography. This is not a video about being more disciplined. This is a call to war with the version of you that wastes his life force. Because every time you give in to lust without awareness, you trade your future for a fleeting second of pleasure. And what's worse, you don't even know it. You think you're just being a man. You think it's normal. But what's common is not always right. The hidden war: we live in a world that profits from your impulses. Every ad, every image, every algorithm designed to hijack your attention, your arousal, your drive. Not because they care about you, but because they need something from you. Your time, your energy, your essence. And what do you get in return? Guilt, exhaustion, a life without direction. You try to meditate, but your mind is filled with images. You try to focus, but your thoughts scatter. You try to create, but your spirit feels dull. Why? Because your libido is leaking. Carl Jung called the libido the vital force of the psyche. It's not just about sex. It's the raw energy that fuels creativity, ambition, love, leadership, and yes, lust. But when it's unconscious, it drags you into chaos. When it's conscious, it lifts you into greatness. Why most men never rise? Most men are not evil. They're just distracted, addicted to comfort, addicted to release. Every time something feels uncomfortable, they run to the nearest pleasure: a video, a girl, a fantasy. They say they want to be kings. But how can you wear a crown if you're a slave to your impulses? Here's a truth most don't want to admit. If you don't control your sexual energy, it will control your destiny. Because what you do with that energy determines whether you build an empire or build a cage. And right now, for most men, the cage is invisible. It looks like freedom. You can wake up when you want, click what you want, watch what you want, feel whatever you want instantly. But inside, you're restless, empty, ashamed of how much time you've wasted and still wasting. This isn't weakness. It's a misused gift. Your energy is sacred. You weren't born to live like this. You were born to direct that force into something divine, something powerful, something sacred. Because underneath the lust is longing, a longing to be more, to serve something bigger, to rise above base instinct and claim your throne as a man of power, not just pleasure. But to do that, you must understand this. Your desire isn't your enemy, but it is not your friend either. It is wild energy, fire. And fire, if left untamed, burns your house down. But if channeled, it powers civilizations. You don't need to fight it. You need to own it. You need to train it. You need to aim it, like a warrior aims his blade. The path of transmutation. What is transmutation? It is the art of turning one thing into another. In this case, turning lust into legacy. Turning the energy of pleasure into the energy of creation, mastery, and leadership. The ancient alchemists believed they could turn lead into gold. Jung believed the true gold was the transformation of the self. Your sexual energy is the lead. Your focused life force is the gold. But the process? It's not easy. It requires sacrifice, not of joy, but of cheap pleasure. The man who learns this becomes magnetic. His voice deepens. His gaze sharpens. His presence commands attention, not because he chases it, but because he contains it. He walks into a room and you feel him. He doesn't need to prove himself. He's mastered himself. This is the path, not of suppression, but of redirection, of turning desire into discipline, instinct into insight, drive into destiny. While you feel lost, let's talk about your restlessness. You feel it, don't you? That gnawing feeling that you're not living up to something, that something is missing? You chase one goal after another, but still feel empty. You consume videos about purpose, but still feel directionless. You want focus, but can't stop scrolling. You want connection, but you're addicted to fantasy. The real reason? Your energy has no mission. Energy without direction becomes chaos. Just like a river without banks becomes a flood. If you don't choose a mission, the system will give you one, and it's always the same: consume, obey, repeat. But you weren't made for that. You were made to build, to lead, to create, to protect, to embody presence so powerful it changes everyone around you. That power is dormant right now, not because it's missing, but because it's been leaking out of you through your eyes, your thoughts, your fantasies. Every time you surrender to mindless pleasure, you disconnect from your mission. But the opposite is also true. What happens when you transform every time you resist unconscious desire? Every time you sit in discomfort and breathe. Every time you turn down temptation and choose purpose. You grow. You don't just become more productive. You become more magnetic, more rooted, more stable. People start noticing something different. They don't know what it is, but they feel it. This is the aura of a man who owns his energy. He doesn't chase. He attracts. He doesn't react. He responds. He doesn't burn out. He burns with purpose. And most of all, he is free. Not because there's no temptation, but because he knows who he is. This man doesn't waste time debating whether porn is good or bad. He knows it drains his essence. He knows what he's building is too important to waste his energy on pixels. This man isn't trying to impress. He's trying to become. And in becoming, he inspires. How to begins. So how do you start this transformation? Awareness. Notice when the desire arises. Don't judge it. Observe it. Feel it without acting on it. This breaks the unconscious cycle. Stillness. Instead of reacting, breathe. Go for a walk. Meditate. Write. Channel the energy up instead of out. Let it move through you, not control you. Vision. Clarify your mission. What do you want to build? Who do you want to be? Give your energy a direction. Purpose kills addiction. Discipline. Create rituals that ground you. Cold showers. Training. Deep work. Silence. Reading. Every discipline is a dam that turns chaos into flow. Brotherhood. Surround yourself with men walking the same path. Lone wolves get lost. Kings rise together. This is how you move from lust to legacy. This is how the master is born. The world needs you. You think this is just about your habits? No. This is about your life, your future family, your mission, your art, your impact. Because when you transmute your energy, you unlock your destiny. You start writing the book you've been avoiding. You start building the business you've only imagined. You start becoming the father you wish you had. You start showing up for real. Your woman feels it. Your work reflects it. Your soul rewards it. There is a power in you right now that is unimaginable, but it's trapped behind an invisible wall of distraction and instant gratification. Break that wall. Sacrifice the shallow to build something sacred. Don't wait for permission. Every second you waste in unconscious pleasure is a second stolen from your legacy. And legacy is not what you leave when you die. Legacy is what you live while you're alive. The final call. So, what will you choose? More scrolling? More regret? More moments of escape that leave you emptier than before? Or will you choose the path of the awakened man? The man who contains himself. The man who walks with purpose. The man who turns desire into direction. This is not easy, but you already know. The easy path is the trap. The hard path? That's where greatness is forged. Carl Jung said, "No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." You've seen your hell. Now let your roots go deep and rise. The world doesn't need more content consumers. It needs masters of presence, builders of inner empires, men who carry their energy like kings carry their crowns. And if something inside you stirred while watching this, it's because the master within you just woke up. Now act. Comment below. I am no longer a slave. I am the master of my destiny. Subscribe, ring the bell, and return weekly. Because here, the weak die daily, and the master is reborn.